Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are recording on Friday, September 6th. And I've officially moved. I know a lot of you, if you watch the YouTube videos as well, then you know that already. But if you're just an audio listener, it's fine. I've moved. And if you're on YouTube, this is the first, I think it's the first full pod I've had without the background. There was the video yesterday too, but I ditched it. So you can now just see, I guess, the towels behind me instead.
Yeah.
It's just a pain to put the
You get a
screen up.
robe.
I know. Well, I don't know.
The robe is excellent material.
It
I
would
only
be,
wear it
but
when I'm sick.
I know, but I live with like three other people. Like, I don't know if I want to just be lounging around in a robe. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I would like to just be clothed normally in my apartment.
A robe covers just everything.
I
as long as
suppose.
they're not like sticking a mirror underneath you. You're all
Yeah, I suppose. We've also had our fantasy football draft, which I was ironically absent for the first two picks of because I was leaving the place I was at.
Jack was so excited for the fantasy football.
I know.
Draft. He was like texting me about it, and I forget I was like doing something.
I know.
And I had like 10 texts, and I was like, I don't know, dude, just fucking pick.
I know. I was upset.
And then he wasn't there. But he did show up. Had a nice chat with some of the gang about perhaps doing steroids, no Ozempic.
We were doing trivia at a bar, and so I was like just leaving, and the draft started. And I didn't realize because we were like getting up, paying, and like trying to get out of there. But honestly, after all that, team still kind of nasty. Still very pleased with the way my team came out. What do you have your team readily available? Like, can you pull it up? Let's do a little comparison.
I can pull it up. Sure.
Mm.
It's one of those things where like I know some of the guys and some of our listeners were telling me I did a good job, and I knew to an extent that I had done a good job because I didn't pick my picks for nothing.
Yes,
but it does get to a point where it's just splitting randoms. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Okay, so who's your quarterback?
I have CJ Stroud.
I got Dak. Who are your running backs?
Okay.
We'll go one for one.
Jameer Gibbs, Alvin Kamara. I have. Oh, this is a problem on the bench. They don't tell me what position the guys are. Hold on, let me go to.
Wait, what?
Oh, I was looking at my matchup. So I have. I have to pull up Tyler Algier.
Okay.
Ooh. Jonathan Brooks.
Shallow.
Gus Edwards, Najee Harris.
Over there. Okay, Najee, I guess.
Zamir White and Jalen Warren.
Yeah, you've got a very shallow running back core, I guess. My running backs are kind of the highlight of my team.
Backs.
I know, but like, you only have like 3 starters. It sounds like.
How many starters do you have?
I have Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, and Aaron Jones.
James Cook's still playing football? Isn't that the guy that was on the page? Oh no, it was James White.
Yeah, James Cook's the Bills running back. My wide receivers are Nico Collins, DJ Moore, and Keon Coleman. So my wide receivers are a little shallow. I have Curtis Samuel too, so I have both of the Bills wide receivers. But
I have Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, Tank Dell.
Okay, yeah.
And Brian Thomas Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing better than me actually having to open the player cards when it just says the first name because I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah. I also have Ladd McConkey and Mike Williams. Ladd McConkey, all-time name, by the way. Just
he sounds whitest tight end ever.
He is a wide receiver, but you got one thing, right? He is certainly white. My tight end's Trey McBride. My tight end's kind of mid.
I got David Njoku, and I didn't draft a backup.
That's good tight end.
Okay.
I have TJ Hawkinson for when he comes back, and then I have Jaden McDaniels on the bench. Anyways, let's see. The only other thing I want to see is I want to see who the league thinks will win because it tells you like who they think will come in first.
Okay. Yeah, pull it up.
That makes me upset.
Sorry to people watching that just had us looking at our phones.
Yeah, well, they know what we're talking about. They know what's happening. I want you to guess why I'm mad at the projected number 1 person.
Is it me or is it Henry?
It's Henry.
Henry's the biggest fan. I'll keep them anonymous. I did have people that were like, Henry will not stop trying to trade with me. When we
from this league already?
Year. No, not this.
Oh, last year? Yeah. Oh, Henry loves trades. I love trades too. Yeah.
I hate
Henry.
Trades. I don't think I've ever done a fantasy football.
Big traders. Yeah, Henry seems good. Okay, well, Henry the first pick. Henry just has McCaffrey, so shock. Anyways, fantasy league's underway. We can get into actual Celtics stuff now. I just thought that was interesting because the draft is over. But Joe Mazzulla recently did an interview with Mr. John Karalis. I think Karalis is the number 1 all-time guest on this show. We haven't had him on in a while, but I think he's been on here more than anybody else in terms
number
of
1 on the guest
episodes. Yeah, he's up there. Bobby K probably passes him, but that's like talking C's. Like
Bobby
I think,
K is like essentially part of one of our shows.
yeah. I think that's a
But
little
he is part of one of the shows. Not essentially, he is.
We have a bunch. I'm gonna read them. Let's go listen to with Joe. Some of the highlights that have been going, we'll say viral, that have just been going around. And I think the favorite for most people has been John Karalis basically asking, like, you're gonna have a target on your back now. Like, what do you think? And Joe just goes, I wish we started tomorrow. I hope it's even 10 times harder than it was last year. People are going to say the target's on our back, but I hope it's right in our forehead between our eyes. I hope I can see the red dot. just the most psychotic line. Like, I wish there was a sniper laser in my face next year while I'm trying to win basketball games. Like, okay, Joe.
Can you imagine? So you don't have like a job. You have a fun job. You don't actually have to like go in anywhere that you don't like. But I can't imagine like working a corporate job and saying something like this in relation to my work. Like, I wish my job was so much harder. Like, being a basketball or any coach and being able to say that stuff must rock, because of the imagine the like I don't know, man, a marketing person just being like, I hope it's 10 times harder for us to sell stuff today.
I hope
my computer crashes and my Microsoft Word doesn't work and the Excel sheets all get erased.
State Farm's just like, I hope Travelers Insurance steals all of our client data. I hope this person.
State Farm is like, I actually hope there's no car accidents. I hope nobody gets in any kind of situation where they need insurance. So actually, no. No, they would be like, I hope there are all the accidents, so we actually have to give people money. Because if nothing happens, and they're just collecting people's.
Joe Mazzulla is perfectly insane. It is amazing. Like, what are some other fun quotes from this one? He said he's learning from the Olympics as well. Said they'll be practicing the baton passing and relay passing, which is the most Joe thing. Karalis asked him about the killer whale comp that Sam Hauser brought up during the finals. I think I asked that question too, so it makes me happy whenever something like that comes up. But he goes, to me, the killer whale are obviously the most forceful animal in nature, but they have humility. They very rarely attack their prey by themselves. So you have to, this concept of, I know I could kill you by myself, but I'm not going to do it unless I have my pod with me. They only attack in 3 or 4. So there's a huge humility aspect to that. No one's doing it like Joe. No one.
If we ever have Joe on the show, we have to have like 10 different celebrities, famous things that we ask him an opinion on.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? Like, I don't know. You asked about like some random president, he would probably have an answer.
Imagine early 2000s Popovich just going, guys, just killer whales are like, no one does it. No one's like that. No one does it like Joe. I can't think of another coach who would, like, it's one thing to say, oh, be like a killer whale because, this is what they do with their prey. But to go, like, to know, like, they know they could kill you by themselves, but they like to attack in group because it's because of the humility of it. What are we doing? What is happening? How is that? What?
We should, if we ever have him on the show, ask him what the most random thing he has a fact for is. Because, like,
gotta be up there.
How many people in your life know about anything about any sea creatures at all that could give you a fact?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Excuse me, if I can think of a fact.
Karalis asked him if he has like any entertainment he leans into, and he was like, no. He's like, oh, like, I don't know. Some days, like, I'll spend an hour watching TV at the end, but mostly no. And I think that's how he got into talking about Broadway, where he was impressed with the performer's ability to go from talking to singing back to talking because they have to be able to control their heart rate.
I should show him my highlight tapes from Show Clock.
Your mixtape, you and the tornado.
I should bring up the tornado tape. Oh, I need to see if Danny has that video.
I would love to know Joe Mazzulla's, like, the art form or performance art that he puts the least stake into. Like, he's like Mickey Mouse, easy.
I bet Joe Mazzulla has the deepest possible level of respect for every single type of art, sport, and everything. Like I think he could come up here and give you
That's
something
true.
like, this is amazing because of this. This is why this is impressive because of this. This is more impressive, not even more impressive, but like this is impressive for a different reason because of this. Like I think he could rattle off a million things for everything. Like he'd be like, well,
Yeah, he's really not a hater.
no. And I
Yeah.
think that's why people like laugh at him a little, not in like at him, but like people find it so entertaining because he'll pull from anything and make it into a
Yes.
lesson, and everyone's like, that's so random. But realistically, I think he just has a deep amount of respect for what everybody does, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool.
Bring him into my marketing job and just
yeah.
be like, what do you think?
Joe also
He'd
talked
be
about
like,
the
you guys are
parade.
so strong. You come into the office.
He talked about the parade too. He said, I had to match the energy of the people. It was a release because it was one of the times where I could be as intense as the people around me. It was like an intensity and a passion, but I was really mirroring the people. This is the most intense, passionate thing that I've ever been a part of, which is like, yeah, you could see
Probably
it.
true. Celtics
Yeah,
fans
you
are
could-
crazy. Even though a lot of them have
Mhm.
been priced out, the parade you can't really price people out of. So the people that
Yes.
are up front at the parade were the ones that wanted to be there and got there early.
Yep.
And that's where you see all the crazies come out, all the diehards. Crazy is
Mhm.
the wrong word. There's nothing wrong with caring. And he had an all-time parade performance, jumping off the duck boat with a torn meniscus, high-fiving the fans on the barricade, doing a fist pump. Like, he had a career day at the parade. Like, it was an eye-opening experience to watch Joe Mazzulla cook in the streets of Boston.
Yeah. It just shout out Joe, man. He also said, I just finished clipping that game up last week. The Blue Jays are up 6-2 and the Red Sox are dead in the water, and it's
In
the bottom of
reference
the
to the
seventh.
game that they went to and threw out the first pitch.
And he said, and then there's a routine fundamental infield fly ball, and the Blue Jays let it fall. The story is it's fundamentals. It's the fundamentals. The storyline is it doesn't matter whether you win a championship or not. You have to commit to the details, and you have to have an understanding of what goes into winning and losing. They lose in the bottom of the ninth, and if they catch that fly ball in the seventh inning, the game's probably over. And so, like, you have to understand what goes into winning and losing on a consistent basis. No one's doing it like Joe.
He did say that solo home run was an individual home run.
What do you mean?
Like the term would be solo home run. Like if there's nobody on base, called it an individual home run. Very tough.
Why?
Like that's what he said he thought.
Oh, just because he got the term wrong.
Yes.
Okay, I see. I thought you were saying like he called it like a Mickey Mouse stat, like it's just that
No.
team.
No.
Okay, I was like, wait, how does that make sense? He also said, I just think studying the animal kingdom in general gives you a direct sense of humility, pride, hierarchy, self-awareness. You have to be all those things if you want to survive. The animal kingdom is the most purest form of hierarchy and role definition that there is. Everybody plays the role. If you step outside of it, you get killed.
You should do another AI Joe Mazzulla article.
I should. That was
a great
fun.
idea.
That was fun. Should we play right now? Should I quiz you right now?
No, because I have all the quotes right in front of me.
No. I'm saying, should I quiz you on the one from earlier this season? Like, do you think you could?
I'll know.
Right?
I'm too deep in this shit. I think.
Are you sure?
Actually, we're a little bit more removed from it, so maybe
That's what I'm saying.
Let's.
We're not. I won't do the whole thing. I'll give you a couple of them. Let's see. We don't just shoot threes. We practice them. We study them, and when they fall, they're a testament to our hard work.
I think that's AI.
Yep, that's fake. Good job. I was reading this book the other day, and it got me thinking about how we're all connected in some way. It's like pieces of the puzzles trying to fit together to make something beautiful. Kind of like when you're cooking a meal, each ingredient has its own flavor, but when you put them all together, it creates something amazing, just like in basketball.
I also think that's AI.
Yeah, I think that's AI too. I think I made that up. Number 8, yeah, that's fake. I typed in make up a Joe Mazzulla quote where he goes in on a random tangent about a random subject that's not related to sports, and that's what came up. I'll do one more. He said, let's see. Are you wearing a tie? I was gonna say, seeing some of your outfits, I didn't expect a suit and tie.
That's real. That was Bobby Manning. Yeah.
Yeah, shut up, Bobby. Dude, I said it once and I can't think of the words to like accurately describe it. No one does it like Joe. You don't like this isn't normal, and it's not normal in the best possible way. Like I would love to be a fly on the wall for practice when these guys are playing like this. Like imagine just like the culture shock Baylor Shireman and Anton Watson are going to face just getting coached by Joe Mazzulla versus anybody else they've ever been coached by. Like it's got to be such a unique experience.
I think it was probably funnier for Jordan Walsh last year because it wasn't as well known that he was a freak like this.
Sure.
So it was more of a shock. Like I think Shireman and Watson will have some sort of like, oh, I listened to him talk on Part of My Take, and he was talking about getting stuck in a revolving door. Like that kind of thing is not, I don't want to say mainstream, but it is like more available knowledge now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Anyways, go check out the other parts to Joe's interview with John Karalis. I don't want to read all of the quotes. It's going over some of the more funny ones from the interviews, but shout out Karalis, did a great job. The article's up in Boston Sports Journal, and the interview 2 parts are up on Locked On Celtics YouTube and I assume audio platforms too. So go check them out there.
I got it on.
Karalis is a goat.
Big props to Karalis. Great get.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Sam's disaster day. Jaden Springer extension is unlikely.
Read the sheet.
Absolutely not. B-Rob, Brian Robb of Mass Live wrote, Jaden Springer is eligible for an extension ahead of the opening night, but I'm hearing it's unlikely a deal gets done there. Boston's massive future salary commitments make it unlikely they will find common ground with Springer's camp on a new deal before evaluating him for a full season. My concern with this is if he doesn't play well, he's probably not going to get an extension. And if he does play well, another team might be willing to offer him more than the Celtics want to give.
Well, his contract's up at the end of the year, so makes it a little bit different than some of the ones that we saw this season. I kind of thought the Hauser one was cooked because they didn't do anything before the season started, and then he played well, and then he still took a team-friendly deal. But again, he was in a situation that Springer is currently in when he signed this deal that we just got. So there could be some red flags here. The positive in this is I think they plan to give him time. I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Like, if you can sign him to an extension right now, it's probably a little bit more than the minimum that they're asking for. Like, Springer's camp cannot be asking for that much money. He just hasn't had the experience or the opportunity to really prove himself with the Celtics. If he does play this year, he could earn his way into that pay grade, which is great. And I think the Celtics are giving him a prove-it opportunity. So I think the door will be open for future negotiations. I do think the point you raised about another team coming in and being interested in him is a real threat. But I also think it's good because it doesn't mean the Celtics are done. Like,
true.
B-Rob's report is not, oh, they're not going to bring him back. It sounds like they're going to give him like a full season of tryout. And that'll give us as media people, as people that care about the team, as fans, as supporters, an opportunity to see what we think of Springer too. Like we really haven't got to see him play in real NBA games other than short spurts where he gave energy or games at the end of the season when nobody played. We saw the one summer league game, which is a recency bias thing, and he played really well as the guy on that team. So I'm very excited to see what happens when he actually gets time this year. Jack and I did our most excited players draft. He was my team captain. So if you haven't watched that, you can go back and look at it. Obviously, just young guy, plays defense, has great energy, has a decent offensive skill set to build off of. He's just not quite there yet from distance. And if he gets there, look out.
Yeah, I mean, I said this to you a couple pods ago. Like, I'm all in on Springer as well. I think I've been influenced, and/or I just think his game fits really well with what the Celtics do. Like, the defense is there already, and I think I've said it a million times. I think that's more important than having a shot being already there because I think you can teach shooting easier than you can teach defense, and his form's not so bad that you can't get him to be an average 3-point shooter. I think, and so. I think if they just keep working with him, it'll come around. I just worry he won't get the opportunities he needs to prove that he deserves a contract extension this year, especially if he's not going to be in the G League, which I do think he's in this awkward spot where he's a little bit too good for the G League, but he's just not quite good enough to play in this current Celtics rotation.
Yes.
Which is
on
a tough spot.
A lot of teams. Like,
yes.
The Pacers just brought back McConnell, but if they weren't going to bring him back, he'd be a good fit there. Like he could definitely play on some of these fringe play-in playoff teams, at least as a bench guy. He obviously wouldn't start, but he could definitely be
of
an energy
course.
guy for a team. If he was on the Knicks, they'd love him.
That's what I was going to just say. I was going to say if they didn't have Miles McBride, or if they had to trade Miles McBride, I think Jaden Springer would be a good fit. But yeah, it's tough.
Where's he from?
Like, where was he born?
Yeah, like where did he grow up?
Let's see. It's a good question. Jaden Springer, basketball. He is. It's a city with an NBA team. If you would like to guess, or I can just tell you.
City with an NBA team. He's from the
Yes.
city. I feel like he's from like the DC area.
Close. Right division.
No. Charlotte?
Yeah, he's from Charlotte. Charlotte, North Carolina. Went to high school in North Carolina and then Florida, and then he went to Tennessee for college. So
It must be so weird to go to a different state for high school. Unless it's like, unless it's like Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Like if you're going to Florida and you grew up in Carolina, that's weird.
It is odd to go that far.
You go to that IMG school or whatever it is?
IMG Academy, yeah. Correct. Anyways, next thing. Celtics ownership buzz. Yeah. Woo.
I wish I was dead.
Courtney Cox, not the friend.
Not the one from Scream.
Yep.
Oh, the one from WEI.
What an interesting dichotomy of responses we gave there. You went immediately to Scream, and I said Friends. Yeah, I feel like
Friends is definitely the more notable one.
I was going to say,
Friends and I've seen Scream. So
you've never, whoa. You've never seen Friends ever?
No.
Not one episode.
Nope.
How? I feel like that's such an unlikely.
I'm a Seinfeld guy. I'm loyal.
That's crazy.
There's like beef between Friends and Seinfeld fans. Seinfeld fans swear it's better. People say Friends is better.
Friends is very much a put on the TV and zone out show, in my opinion, which is fine. Like it's good. It's fine. It's a little funny, but it's not like gripping you.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. Anyways, Courtney Cox of the Greg Hill Show said that the bidding race for the Celtics is down to 3 teams. Jeff Bezos, Wynn Encore, which is the casino in Boston, the group, and then Fenway Sports Group. But specifically Sam Kennedy. Like she said, the source I talked to sent me something that said Sam Kennedy, not Fenway Sports Group, but he is part of Fenway Sports Group. So it's kind of weird. Also, I'm gonna clarify. Until we hear something from Woj, Shams, or like Gary Washburn, Adam Himmelsbach, I'm taking everything with the biggest grain of salt I've ever had in my life. Like, it's not that I don't trust Courtney Cox or that I'm completely disregarding whatever she says, but like until I hear it from a legitimate, like proven Celtics or NBA source, I'm just gonna not like fully believe anything.
And it's also different when the reports that you're hearing from the non-major sources are contradicting.
Exactly.
Like Bill Simmons is not a joke. He's not like a bum. Like he knows a little bit, but he's not quite like at the level of the other people where you're like, it's guaranteed. Like he's out there to create content and entertain. But if he was lining up with this report and other reports we had heard, but like as soon as Simmons said Bezos was in, we got a report that Bezos was out. And now we have this one that Bezos is in. And it's like, I don't know what to believe. I think he's out. I don't think you would have heard a quick response from Bezos's camp being like, he's not in right after Simmons
my only
came out and
thing,
said it. They would have just let it marinate. They wouldn't have cared.
My only thing is if they didn't want, like if they knew, like if Wick is like, oh, Bezos definitely wants it, like we're not gonna let him undersell us now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing I could think of being like maybe he wanted to like say, no, I don't really know if I want, you know what I'm saying? Like just playing coy almost.
I think if Wynn buys this, it's also I don't want to say it's bad for the team, it's bad for the TD Garden lifespan.
Yes.
Because they want to build an arena, from what I understand. And they would definitely build it right by their casino, so people would go to the casino.
For what it's worth, I obviously love TD Garden. I don't want anything to change, but I do like objectively building their own arena would benefit the Celtics. Like it just would, objectively speaking, because it would generate more money for the team, generate more money for ownership, which would mean they would be more willing to spend on the team. Just that's just how it works, because they would be able to sell it out. They'd be able to do stuff and they would own all the profits from it. They wouldn't have to rent it out or pay a fee, whatever. Right. So that's a good thing. It sucks that they would leave TD Garden potentially, but would be a good thing for the Celtics. And who knows? Maybe actually, I was gonna say you get a cool name, but they definitely just call it the Wynn Arena or whatever. Which honestly,
T Garden is a cool name though. That's the
I know,
problem.
no.
It'd be one
I
thing
know.
if it sucked.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind. I think they would be fine. I think Bezos would be whatever. Fenway
tell you
Sports
what.
Group would be a disaster.
That is very true. I'll circle back to that just because I want to get this in. If they built a new arena and they put the yellow and black seats in, it would be fire, but it would be so funny because the Bruins don't play there, and the whole reason the seats were like that was for the Bruins.
Bruins, yeah.
But the yellow and black seats are just fire. Like I miss the yellow and black seats.
I wouldn't hate green and white seats. I think it'd be kind of cool. I think it would look fun.
I'm trying to like picture in my head.
I will say,
Sam,
Sam,
I would think of that.
if you want me to get you all in on an arena, would give them a chance to create the wall.
They could make a wall. They could make a Celtics wall.
I'm just saying.
All right. Yeah. I can get behind that.
Am I reeling you in a little bit?
In the arena and you tried to make some lore to a fan section, I would approve of that. But would definitely not approve of FSG.
No.
I would definitely not eat dog shit out of a cup, but I don't know what I would do if they bought the team. That would be awesome.
I genuinely think it could lead to the destruction of the Celtics. Because I mean, look at these guys. They traded Mookie Betts. They didn't want to pay Xander and Benintendi, which it worked out in the end, but at the moment
too.
Exactly.
Liverpool
So
do not like them.
For the Celtics, who currently have one of the most expensive payrolls in NBA history, if you're going to talk about FSG buying the team, it might not directly affect the current payroll, but not all of these guys are going to be extended again, right? You're not going to have this chance to do this again, which is not what you want if you're the Celtics. You want ownership that's willing to spend on the team.
The interesting thing about FSG in this situation is that traditionally they have bought teams that have had I don't know so much about the Penguins. I don't know shit about them. What I can tell you is when they bought the Red Sox now won a championship in forever. They had been kind of close in the 90s, and they competed with the Yankees in the playoffs. They weren't quite there. They buy the Red Sox pay. They have a good team in 03, they lose. They win in 04, they win in 07, they win in 13, they win in 18. They win 4 championships after FSG buys them. And then all the cheapness happens, right? Liverpool had not won. They won a Champions League in 2005. They hadn't won the Premier League since like 1990. They win the Champions League in 2019. FSG bought them in the early 2010s, so it took them a little bit more time to build a winner. They should have won the Premier League in 13-14, but they didn't. So they became competitive again pretty quickly. And in that situation, they basically saved the club too. There was I'm not going to get into it, but I'm pretty sure there was more context where they're in debt. And then they win the league in 2020. So they did. I just spit real bad if that was on screen. Good luck.
I was tabbed out, but I believe you.
They win the league, and then I think they cheaped out and they didn't really want to spend to bring in players. And they built this team that they currently have and won the league and Champions League with by buying low and eventually hitting on these guys. But before they became cheap bucks, they did win. The interesting part about them buying the Celtics would be they already have the expensive roster. We haven't seen FSG go into a team with an expensive roster and have to make decisions. They have built up a roster, rewarded the fans, given them what they want, and then they cheap out. So with the Celtics, it would be a really weird foot to start on by being do we really want to pay everybody? No, these guys can walk because all those contracts will be expiring when this ownership change happens officially.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like I don't know. It just scares me. I don't want any even chance of cheaping out. Anybody with a history of that, I just don't think it's a good thing.
I agree.
With.
We're on the same team. I'm just.
I know what you mean, though. It is
by the
odd.
Storyline because they haven't quite done that. Yeah,
they
haven't bought a winner. They've bought teams that have been in drought.
Very, very true.
It would also suck if LeBron was part of the group.
That would be kind of funny. It would be kind of
that would be end my life.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not taking anything completely seriously until I hear a real source bring it up. Until I hear a Shaq or not a Shaq, Shams
Shaq,
or Woj. Yeah, Shaq, right? But I guess we'll see what happens. But last Celtics thing before we get to the email here. Dominique Wilkins was recently on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and why am I blanking? Steven Jackson. And he said, Steven Jackson, am I correct? That is correct, right? I think so. And he told a story about Larry Bird that I thought was interesting. And so I threw it on here. So excuse me while I read the long quote because I couldn't find a video. Dominique Wilkins on Larry Bird said, Larry and I, we played against each other like 12, 13 years. We never shook hands. We never spoke. Never. Great players back then didn't want another great player to get that close to you. So none of us liked each other, never spoke. I didn't speak to him for 13 years straight. Hey, listen, first time I played against him, I'm a rookie. I'm glad to be in the league. I'm in the Boston Garden, and I'm guarding him, right? First play of the game, he said, I don't know why you got you guarding me, Holmes. He shoots a three, and I wouldn't mad. He made a three. I said, but this son of a bitch just called me Holmes. So the next play, I'm coming. I'm pissed. So he comes out, he shifts to his right, and I jump. I said, I got him, and I'm pumping it, and I banged it on him, and he on the ground, he fouled me, and I'm pointing him in, and he said, hey, Rook. And I'm like, what? And he said, I like you. You got balls, and I'm still getting 30 on your ass tonight. He got about 37, but I wasn't mad because I was paying my dues. That's Larry, but that was the only time I ever talked trash to me because he knew I was going to keep coming. So just sort of like a mutual respect thing between Larry and Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins, who I feel like is one of the most forgotten about, like this dude was kind of incredible, like guys in the league, just because he never was on, what I'm saying? Like he's never like on an amazing team, but fun story and a fun Larry story at that.
Dominique's a weird one for me because
right.
What you say is absolutely correct. But then at the same time, I feel like we all know Dominique Wilkins, and he's I don't know. I didn't live it. I can't tell you if he's over or underrated. I think there's probably cases for both sides.
I mean, he averaged 29 or more points 4 different times in his career, and he only had 4 seasons where he averaged less than 20, and they were all
deep into his later years too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
former Celtic,
and he didn't enter the league till he was 23, so he was like he could have had more years. Like
crazy back in the day, dude.
It is nuts.
Showing up as grown men instead of kids.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it just a random fun story about Larry that I put on here because happy September. Anyways,
we've had a good show for September. Hey, for those of you listening, I put this together like a day before we recorded, and we're recording early. So
yes,
like that can tell you like we're starting to get like a little bit of news. Not bad for September at all.
Just a little bit of stuff.
We might be back.
Out.
I
wouldn't go that far just yet, brother. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't jinx us. We're still chugging along. All right. Reminder as always. Oh, yeah. 1 week. We're getting there. Sorry, you just threw me off. I like messed up my intro and then I was turned off. Anyways, let's go to the email here. A reminder as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. Get in contact with us, hbtcpod@gmail.com, hbtcpod. We read the emails on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and we've got some from RJ today. So let's check out what the man has to say. I'm a poet, didn't know it. RJ says, who's up next? Morning, folks. Since I'm confident about the Celtics wrapping up Banner 19 this coming season, Jesus, I've been thinking more about the future. Back in the 80s, McHale and Ainge began as bench players and eventually became starters in championship squads. Who on the current Celtics bench do you think being able to move up to be a championship starter, not this year, but within the next 2 to 3? Be well, RJ. Hauser. I think Sam Hauser is my answer. Although I don't know how much room there is for him to move into the starting lineup because they kind of have the 1 through 4 solidified.
Right.
So maybe Tillman's the answer.
Well, the Holiday position is one that will be opening up probably in that window.
True. And if not that, 4 years from now. And then you could just slide JB down to the 2 and then run Hauser at the 3, Tatum at the 4. I don't know.
We'll see. It's a big year. It's a big year.
I think Hauser or Tillman are my answers.
Yeah, I think it's probably Tillman or one of the bigs, right? The Porzingis position is a question mark. The Al Horford ultimately, like down the road retirement is also going to be a thing. Not that that'll be a starting
sooner than later. Yeah, well,
it's coming. It's
starting
for
half the season because Porzingis is just going to be hurt inevitably.
Yes, and Porzingis. Not to like be grim, but who knows how long he has left with consistent injuries and being 7'4" and stuff. Like he's not going to be this good forever, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a big guy. It probably is Tillman because his offensive game fits the team the best. And he would hypothetically be able to fit into some of what Horford used to do when he was the starter. But,
Yeah,
as
I
far
like
as
Tatum.
Hauser goes, it's not as easy for me to picture just because Tatum and Brown are ahead of him, respected. Like, both of them are wings, and Hauser is a wing. I mean, one of them could play the 2 guard, but
That's what I was thinking. Like, if Drew retires, JB slides down, you run all 4 of those guys, with D. White included. I think you'd be okay. But I think Tillman's the most obvious answer. Or, hey, if Anton Watson looks real good. No.
Springer.
Imagine. Oh, God. I
Dude,
don't know.
if Springer, like, becomes, like, a guy on the Celtics down the line, that'll be, like, the
You'll feel real.
resume take for me for years. Like, I told everybody I was
Be
on
my Derek
Springer.
White.
Yeah.
Kind of. Maybe to a
No,
higher
you were
degree,
on. You were the first guy on that. You were excited from the get-go.
I did a whole bit on You Got Boston, which is Noah's pod yesterday. We were talking about most improved player, and I said, if Xavier Tillman has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If he's got 20 fans, I'm one of them. If he's got 5 fans, I'm one of them. If he's got 1 fan, I'm him. If he has no fans, I'm fucking dead.
I like that.
I'm planting my flag on Tillman Island, man. Tillman's gonna be so good.
Dude, I am the
also
president of the Springer fan club, and Jack is joined.
I'll wave the Tillman flag all day too. That's my thing. I might change my bio from Derek White propagandist to Xavier Tillman propagandist real soon, but we'll see. Next thing from RJ, moving day in Missoula morning, folks. I hope by the time you read this, Jack, your move has gone successfully. It has. We're good. New apartment, kind of cool. Apologies to Mike, who is on this wall right here, who's gonna have to listen to me podcast every day.
Hope he likes
Enjoy.
the Celtics.
He is the Celtics fan of the household, so he'll get the.
That's all right.
He has 1 Celtics jersey on his wall. Do you want to guess?
It's not Kyrie, is it?
Not current, but no, not Kyrie.
But it's not Kyrie. Is it Isaiah?
No.
Is it Pierce jersey?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let him surprise you. Let me see if he's working right now. I'll get him to come in here and show you.
Would I guess this at all?
You know the player, yeah. Let me see.
He has 1 Celtics jersey on his wall. Not a current. Is it a Marcus jersey?
No. Stop guessing. It'll be more funny if you see it.
Okay.
He'll come
is he
in.
home?
All right, quick pause there. I think Mike is going to come in and show the jersey now. Hold, please.
Okay.
You're good.
I'm excited to see this. I wonder if I'm going to be pissed at myself that I didn't get it.
Probably.
I am.
It's. I told him that you here. Let me turn on.
I'm not going to keep guessing, but I'm going to just think in my head.
I'm going to move my sound to my computer so you can hear him.
Okay. Oh, man, that sucks. I don't hate Scal, but I get sick and tired of Scal.
No, it's sick.
That jersey is going to tell you that somebody broke their leg when they actually just got a bruise. Nobody loves an injury like Scal.
Nah, come on, that's a sick jersey.
It's framed
with me. I have a
no, it's cool that you have that.
Yeah, it's sick.
I have to rip Scal. That's all.
It's
game worn jersey.
Game worn. All right, that's all right. Yeah,
I can try to take it out of the case and show how purely massive it is, but
I believe it's probably.
What's? I'm sure it says the size on there. I bet it's at least 2x.
Yeah, it's gotta be huge.
It's covered up, but yeah, it's massive.
Oh yeah, thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem. Glad to contribute.
Put them on the thumbnail.
Yeah, I figured you'd enjoy the Scal jersey. I feel like that'd be a good bit. So
I would never guess Scal.
No. Anyways, back to RJ's email here. Morning, folks. Hope you read this. Your move has gone successfully. Has all good. RJ says, I love part 1 of Karalis' interview with Coach Mazzulla. I hope, it appears that Joe just never turns off his how can I apply this to the Celtics filter, even if it's going to see Broadway shows. Great. I think one of the things that a lot of fans and many reporters too haven't locked into with the coach is that his answers have meaning when taken to face value. So many people think he's being deadpan funny or overemphasizing stuff for effect in the pressers, but when he talks about editing video from Red Sox game for teaching moments, I completely believe him. I also think his transparency with the players will make him an exceptional coach for the right guys. He understands that everyone in every season has ups and downs, but he also sets standards of being mindful and all the time. I think that is what is going to help set the Celtics apart this year and for years to come. Be well and have fun unpacking. RJ, unpacking wasn't great, but my family helped me a lot with it, and I have some ratless stuff that I'll save for the
guys get pizza
from
or
that
anything?
as well.
Like any
We got
celebratory reward food?
My mom and stepdad had to go home to pick up Henry in time from work, but my dad, my sister, and I got Raising Cane's afterwards, which is very good.
I love Henry,
So
man.
let's please shout out Henry, the GOAT. Love
You
Henry.
need to teach Henry how to do something with audio or video
So
so
he
he can like,
can
produce the show and be a part of the show eventually.
We gotta bring him in as like the producer commenter.
Yeah.
He's been on a thumbnail before. He was on the
Yeah.
thumbnail for one of our.
I thought he was funny
drafting.
on that show.
He was on for like 2 seconds. But
No,
yeah.
when he didn't he do a show with you when I was in Greece?
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought he was
yes.
good.
I had him on that. Yeah, no, that was a good one. I forgot about that. I was talking about when we were doing draft stuff and the Mikal Bridges trade happens. Henry came in and gave his thoughts on the Mikal Bridges trade, and I
That
slapped
was a
him on the
great
thumbnail.
moment. Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for the email reminder. Again, as always, hbtcpod, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Email us there while we're doing the show. But going into the NBA here, the Philadelphia 76ers might be moving to New Jersey, which let me
Nobody
read
wants
the
to
report
live in New
first,
Jersey.
and then we'll talk. This was from excuse me, ROI NJ. It's like a New Jersey news outlet. We've worked tirelessly for the past 5 years to build an arena in Philadelphia, and negotiations remained ongoing with city leadership regarding our proposal at Market East. The reality is we're running out of time to reach an agreement that will allow the Sixers to open our new home in time for the 31-32 NBA season. As a result, we must take all potential options seriously, including this one. Sam, you wrote biggest bluff of all time. I would agree.
Yeah.
That said, it would be like a Wizards are moving to Virginia thing where it would be like literally 10 minutes away from where they currently are. Like it wouldn't be fully, it would just be moving down the road, but it would technically be in New Jersey. I was talking to, so Mike's girlfriend Meg is from Philly, and two of my other roommates are from New Jersey.
Prayers.
And they were like, no one wants to move to Camden. No one wants to go there. What are we doing? And so this is like, also, like you said, they're not going to move to fucking New Jersey. There's just no way the NBA would allow that to happen. I don't believe it.
Philly just has like a good fan base. Like, I mean, granted, Seattle did too, and those people have been begging for the team back for the last 20
Philly's
years.
Different though. Like,
But yeah, Philly has like all the major sports teams. Like, they should not lose the Sixers. That would be fucking stupid. And
they
the
can't.
arena people should stop breaking their balls. Because
yes,
I don't even know if the name would change now that you've laid it out like this, where like they would be moving just across the border. Because I do forget that the states are pretty much like that. There, like
the tri-state
Jersey,
area,
Philly, and Delaware are all very, very close.
In New York, yeah.
Well, New York's a little further from those states in particular, but in terms of like Philadelphia being the hub, like those three states are all pretty close. So technically, they could move to like Delaware too, and they'd be all right.
Let me see how close Wells Fargo is exactly to
their practice facility, maybe in Delaware.
Their practice facility is in New Jersey, I think. And their G League team is the Delaware Blue Coats, so they're all just like
that. I knew.
So this is okay. That's my fucking address. Let's not do that.
Dox yourself.
Dox myself. Wells Fargo Center is right here, and yeah, look, like this is the Wells Fargo Center, and then
New Jersey's right there. It's
this is New Jersey. It's across the bridge. They would literally move.
The river is the border. I'm pretty sure.
This is Wells Fargo. This is where they would move to. So it's just across the way, and then Delaware would be a little further because it's down, like way down the road. But they're all like
south.
Yeah, right here. And then you're right. New York's all the way up here, but it is close enough. Like people do Philadelphia to New York daily commute. You know what I'm saying? Like people will live in Philadelphia.
Man.
Well, no, it's only like an hour and a half train. So people like because it's so much cheaper to live in Philly, they will live in Philly and then work in New York because they don't want to pay New York prices.
I'm telling you right now, if you're somebody that makes a commute like that every day, respect to you. Because
it's called something special.
I would never want to do that.
I think it's called
make that commute every day. We love you.
Super commuters. I think it's called like the super commuter. Yeah. Let me see. How long is train ride from Philly to New York? It is. It's an hour 30. Hour 20 sometimes, which is this train is 36 minutes. So if that's it, that's not bad at all. So
that's all right. Yeah,
there are quicker ways, and I think people realize.
No respect for me then. If you're going from Philly to New York, I don't have as much respect.
You know what? I will say though, respect for dealing with living in Philly because that sucks. I'm sorry,
dude. They have 2 trains their subway system is a big like cross. There's one that goes
Yeah.
north south. There's one that goes east west,
bad.
and it's called the
Sucks.
SEPTA. We've talked about this on the pod before.
Yes.
It sounds like SEPTA is an objectively bad name. It sounds like it's something to do with sewage. It's gross.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The T
It's
is the
bad.
hardest name in all of them. Just a single
T,
letter.
right. The T. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
What is the what's New York's called? Just the subway, I think,
And
right?
Metro.
Metro.
I
A
believe.
couple years ago, I was talking to my friends about this. One of my friends, Alex, it is like it is shocking how few major U.S. cities have trains.
Trains are awesome. We
Trains
should
are
all have trains.
How many U.S. cities have subway systems?
Providence should have a train, especially with this bridge.
How many underground subway systems are in the U.S.? Would you like to guess?
Underground.
So, like, yeah, subway.
Philly does not go underground. Boston does. New York does. San Francisco does not. DC does. LA has a subway. It sucks. It doesn't go underground. Chicago, I don't know if they go underground. They probably don't because they're right on a lake.
Mm.
Is it just 3?
It's 11. So there are more than you think. Okay,
Can I name any of them and rule them out?
This is they are counting subway or elevated trains in their technical thing. So like just
okay.
sorry,
So Philadelphia,
yeah, my bad. So
Philadelphia, Chicago. I don't know if LA is elevated.
It counts LA.
LA,
Counts
so
both
San
of them.
Francisco definitely does.
Yep, counts both of them. Chicago, you got Boston, obviously. New York, yes. The Philadelphia, you got is to Newark, Harrison, New Jersey, Hoboken path system, which is like New Jersey's version. So that counts. So you're missing 1, 2, 3.
Does the Connecticut Shore Rail count?
No. It doesn't count that.
So I'm missing. Does Florida have one?
Miami, yeah. Miami has one.
Yes.
I don't know if you said one of these, but I'm gonna act like you didn't, and then you're missing. So you're missing 3 technically.
I'm missing 3.
Yeah. All or 2 East Coast, 1 Southeast.
Southeast. Atlanta has one. Easy.
Atlanta
Can't
has
believe
one.
I
Yep.
forgot that.
Correct. Atlanta has one. Yeah.
I said DC. Charlotte have one?
No, both like middle East Coast, not Charlotte. That's too south. Up more. Like close to New Jersey. Closer to New Jersey than most stuff.
Does Delaware have one?
No, closer. You're gonna kick yourself for not getting this.
Maryland has one?
Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore does. Yeah, and then did you say this last one? You might have said it, and I'm gonna feel
you
bad.
can just say it. We
DC has one.
I said DC, and I just said it this one. I said I already said DC.
I that's why I said I couldn't. I wasn't.
Yeah. DC has a lovely train system. By the way.
DC's great. I love DC's. DC is awesome. Only 1, 2, 3, 4 have 24-hour service. I'd kill for the T to have 24-hour service. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Chicago. Philadelphia and Chicago, I should say, have 24-hour service, which is nice. And then a lot of other places have like metros, which I don't know the difference between the thing I just saw in metros, but like Buffalo has a metro, Cleveland has a metro, Dallas apparently has a metro. So there's like other sort of systems like that, like train / bus systems that like have like public transport like that. But like, dude, think about it like this, like, bro, a lot of Texas ones don't have it. A lot of like Seattle, like all these like huge cities and huge states just in the South just don't have stuff like that. And I feel like that's trains rock. I love trains, dude. Trains are the best. Anyways, next thing after our train tangent. Apparently, this is a very real thing. The Nuggets have a rift.
Speaking of getting railroad,
front office, front office and the coaching staff / players have a rift. And this is from Zach Lowe, so it's pretty legit. Apparently, Nuggets head coach Mike Malone may not be on the same page as the organization. This is from Zach Lowe, quote, "There are rumblings that coaching staff in front office, or at least the head coach in the front office, aren't exactly seeing eye to eye in Denver to a degree even unusual for the NBA." And I think the part of it, if I had to guess, was like the front office is like, let's develop young guys when you have one of the greatest players of the last 20 years on your basketball team.
Ever. Greatest players ever.
Yeah, ever. Probably a top 20 player in NBA history already. And it's just, let's develop Peyton Watson and Christian Brown, who are fine players, but like what the hell? Like, what are we
Yeah,
doing?
if I was
You
Mike
let
Malone,
two-
Michael Malone, I'd be pissed too. They're playing Jenga with the roster.
It's bad.
It screwed them last year. It felt like
Yep.
too, and this year they've done it even more. KCP is gone. Remember, their
Yeah.
championship starting five is gone.
Dude. So let me look at this real quick. I'm finding the exact stats just so I can give the exact like granular how much they messed up. Two of the top 6 players in terms of minutes per game on their championship team from 2 years ago are gone.
Bruce
And
Brown
on top
gone.
of that, Bruce Brown and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope gone.
Jeff Green
And
gone.
4 of their top 8 are gone. Reggie Jackson, Jeff Green were 7 and 8 in the rotation on the championship team. Gone. And so they just have let 4 of their top 8 players from 2 years ago walk. And again, I think Christian Brown's really good. I think he'll be a fine player. I think Peyton Watson's really good. I think he'll be a fine player. I like Julian Strother. Like, I like the young guys they got as pieces. But by the time they're ready to contribute at the same level as KCP, Bruce Brown, even Reggie Jackson and Jeff Green, it's going to be too late. Because I said this once before and I'll say it again. I don't think Nikola Jokic is going to resign after his current contract. I feel like he might just be like, I'm good. I'm going to go play with horses. See you later. I don't, I'm good. I've done what I want to do. I don't really feel like continuing this. And before you say that, people are going to be like, oh, what? You're saying he's 2 more years? Jokic's contract is long. He's got this year and then 4 more after this season. So like by that time, he'll be, what is he? 29 this year, 31, 32, 33. He'll be 33. And so you're telling me he's going to sign another 4-year contract to play till like he's 37?
Yeah.
If there's anybody in the league who is going to be like, nah, I'm good, Jokic, right? So I don't know. It's a mess. It's not good. I'd be so mad if I was a Nuggets fan. So mad.
They really are fucking up with this.
Mm-hmm.
The point about Jokic is really great because the only angle I can see them taking to defend this is like, we're trying to have it so our roster is developed when he's on that tipping point of like, do I want to still play? Do I not want to play enough to sway him to stick around and compete?
I don't think he cares enough. Not that he doesn't care about basketball. I think he obviously it likes basketball. It's just like I think he is going to just be content with saying, okay, had a good career, won a championship, made a bunch of money. I don't need a lot of money to live the way I want to live. Peace. I'm good. I'm good for the rest of my life. See ya. Which, yeah, I think he'll be fine with that. So I'm concerned, or not concerned, but like I feel bad for Nuggets fans because I mean, like I said, obviously there's this whole like, oh, Celtics Nuggets, like those are the best 2 teams, but like it's hard to hate the Nuggets. Like they don't really have a hateable aspect to them. They're just a really good basketball team. So it's just like cool. And shout out Mike Malone, local guy. But yeah, man. I don't know.
Maybe if you're a Celtics fan, you want to see their downfall a little bit, just because it
A
makes it
little
easier for our fellas
yeah,
out there.
but not for any cynical way, just because it's like they're a good team. Like
Yeah, like I'm not gonna watch the Nuggets and be like, hell yes, they lost. Like I don't get
Exactly.
that out of watching.
Exactly. Next thing, Brandon Ingram skipped Pelicans minicamp. This is from who is it from? Let me see.
Will Gilroy.
Will Guillory of The Athletic. He said Ingram was only one of 2 Pelicans who skipped a voluntary minicamp. Daniel Tice was the other who didn't attend the week-long volunteer workout. I feel like that was more just because after the Olympics, maybe. I don't think there was anything cynical to that. I feel like you probably had an excuse, but
I don't like having him being thrown under the bus here. He caught a stray. It's probably not
Poor
fair.
guy.
Not a good way to start off his Pelicans tenure either. It's kind of
Yeah.
fucked up.
a bit weird. But like
I hope
he's
he cold shoulders this guy the whole year now.
Yeah, but he like just signed a new contract, so I can't imagine there's any like actual beef that's there for that. But Ingram's already murky future is even more unclear now, apparently. Guillory noted that the Pelicans, quote, believed Ingram would be in attendance, so it's kind of weird. I mean, we've talked about potential Ingram trades all offseason. It just doesn't feel like there's a legitimate, like, he would be great in this spot for him. But if you're the Pelican, like, personally, I said this during the playoffs, if I'm the Pelicans, I'd rather start Herb Jones and Trey Murphy over Ingram and one of the others. Like, I just would rather have that versatility. And I think Trey Murphy has the potential to be a better player than Ingram is. So, I don't know.
I mean, we've talked about it endlessly, like you mentioned, but just to relay it out for people that may not like know our take is just like the Ingram contract is very difficult to trade right now, not because of the contract, but because he wants an extension. So you're trading for a year of him, and you're going to have to pay a decent price for a guy that's going to want to be overpaid, and that's what makes it tough.
I don't know if there would be a legitimate way to make it work. Actually, Okay, they would have to do some finagling, like contract-wise. I think I'm trying to like lay out the exact way that it could work. Brandon Ingram for Vucevic and Lonzo Ball, and like maybe a
Lonzo
pick.
back to the Pelicans.
Yeah, I know. And then because then the Pelicans would also have to send out a little bit more salary, so you'd have to figure that out exactly. But then maybe like the Bulls have to give up a couple seconds as well. But like think of it from the perspective of the Bulls would free up a year early from the Vucevic salary. The Pelicans would get a big who kind of fits in all right there a little bit for a couple years. At least at the very least, they get a veteran, and their center position sucks right now. It is not good. As much as I love Daniel Tice, he is slotted to be their starter next to Yves Missy, who is a 16th overall pick rookie. So having a veteran in there, even if you want to start Missy because you like his upside, you have a veteran in Vucevic who can space the floor a little and provide you something at least a little bit similar to what Valanciunas gave you last year. Lonzo Ball's dead salary, but he'll be off the books this year, and you don't have to worry about extending him. Vucevic 2 years, you get maybe a couple seconds out of it. The Bulls just get off the salary. Like I feel like that could be a win-win if sides are interested, but I don't know how much the Pelicans would be jumping at an extra year of Vucevic's salary when they could just get off Ingram's a year early.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is just a weird situation, and it sucks that he's not happy there right now because that Pelicans team is kind of set up to be competitive. Like they're not bad. I think the center spot will hurt them, but like they weren't bad when everybody was healthy and he was playing well. They really should have beat the Lakers last year in the play-in, but they didn't because of, well, Zion hurt himself, and then Ingram didn't have anything that night.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think they're a better team than people realize. I think they have the potential to be a really good team. I think CJ's underrated at this point. I don't think he's amazing, but like for what he is, I think he's a fine player. I think Trey Murphy and Herb Jones is one of the better young wing cores in the league. At this point, I like Missy's upside for what it's worth. I think they've got good depth. I think Zion, when he's healthy, looks great, and he clearly lost a lot of weight too. So there's that. But I don't know, man. The Ingram thing's weird. They have DeJounte Murray now, who I just kind of forgot was on the team. just they've got a good roster.
That's what I'm saying, like not bad.
Ingram thing's odd. Jordan Hawkins, good player. And I digress. Matt Ryan. Next thing in the NBA is the Reddit post of the day. There's nothing else, so jump into it. Let's rock.
Today's Reddit post of the day. I copied the link instead of opened it, so stand by. I will paste it.
Let's go.
Oh.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of r/NBA.
Oh dear.
I'm going to quickly find a post to see what I can find.
What was? Do you remember what the removed post was?
Yes, but it needed to be there so we could review it. It was what like the craziest takes from before last season were, and the problem is it had a link to a post from last year with all the crazy takes.
I see. Yeah,
so
that
I
would
wanted
be.
to go through and look at them, but
There's a bunch of replies that have things, but I don't think this is conducive to exactly what you want to do. You can look. I'll filibuster, but yeah, that would have been fun. Dang, why did they remove it?
That's so random. Man.
That is annoying.
This is bad. I'm in a.
No, you're good. Take your time. We'll just be chilling, filibustering. That is odd that would be removed, but
this is an interesting one.
All right.
Are there examples of a player who became better post-injury? Curious if there's ever been players who have suffered serious injuries but actually came back better than they were before injury. This is a very interesting discussion just because I think we always assume guys are just going to kind of come back and be who they were before they got hurt, but oftentimes they have to kind of take a step back and play a smaller role. But sometimes there are guys like there's a comment here that's pretty very, very true.
Couple examples.
What'd you say?
I said I have a couple examples that popped into my head immediately, like more recent ones.
Go ahead.
I feel like Kevin Durant was better post injury. Like I know it didn't. I know. I feel it's tough because it depends on what you quantify as better. Because like obviously he didn't win after that, but
he also won an MVP before that, so it's hard.
It's true. But like his counting stats since then, like he has been incredible.
He was incredible.
Right? Like
in the Brooklyn series against Milwaukee.
Exactly. And like since then he has averaged 30, 29. He's just healthy. I think the better one is Paul George because Paul George had arguably his best season of his career after getting hurt with the Pacers, because I think it was that OKC year where he was top 3 in MVP and top 3 in DPOY voting, because that was an insane year. He was great that season. So I think that's the best example I could think of. But what do you got?
Said Jabari Parker was better after his first ACL tear, but then was worse after his second ACL tear. The sweet spot was right in between.
Poor guy.
That sucks.
Paul George was on here.
Yeah, Paul George.
Let's see.
For sure.
There's Brooke Lopez, which is probably the best answer. Brooke Lopez is a much more versatile, well-rounded player post-foot injuries. He's been very good for years. He won a championship in Milwaukee. He's a key piece of their defense. They feel like he made an all-defensive team here with Milwaukee. He's been a motherfucker blocking shot.
2 all-defensive
technically, Blake Griffin, Chet, and Embiid all got better after their rookie season injuries, which is pretty fair. Like,
it's true.
Coming back, well, like a guy like Embiid, we never thought was gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder. Myth you just hear about.
How big does the injury have to be? Because like Jalen hurt his wrist and was out half the season. Okay, because you know what I'm saying, Jalen missed like half the season in the playoffs, and then he came back and he was great. But
the hand thing,
that's not as obvious or clear. Steph's ankles.
Steph was on here.
Pretty good. I think he was all right after that.
Amari Stoudemire had terrible knee issues in 2006 and made an All-NBA first team in 2007. Sean Livingston, probably not.
He's all right. He's fine.
He shifted his game to fit into a lesser role. But
players.
Not bad. Mark Price tore his ACL in 1990 and at an age slightly older than most of the other players listed. He came back and made 3 All-Star teams and 3 All-NBA teams, including his only first team. So it's a pretty good answer. MJ broke his foot his second year, next 3 years among his most insane from a statistical standpoint.
Yeah. I'm like trying to look through now. I know it hasn't come to fruition fully yet, but like Zion was really good last year. He just got hurt again. Like Zion was awesome last year, and he's just dealt with injuries. I know you're gonna laugh, but he was.
He's been fine when he's on the court for the most part.
Kawhi. He won the Raptors championship after missing 2 years with the Spurs, effectively.
Some of that was some bullshit, though.
I know, but he was objectively hurt. I found another thing. Jamal Murray. Yeah, never mind. He got these got hurt after, I think. Because James Wiseman's on here. Oof, it's tough. Poor guy. All right, let's we can go to the rat list here, Sam. Would you like to kick us off? What do you got?
Yes. Rat list is ESPN, man, and AI. So I know you saw this because I sent it to everybody yesterday when I saw it. I sent it to all our roundtable friends because, well, it kind of affects all of us. And if you're on Twitter, I'm sure that you saw it too, because the tweet itself went pretty viral. ESPN Front Row, which I'm pretty sure is like their, let's see what it actually is. Yeah, it's just like they're like essentially a news outlet for whatever ESPN's doing. Tweet reads, using generative AI technology, ESPN now offers game recap stories for Premier Lacrosse and National Women's Soccer League, incremental coverage for both leagues. This initiative has been collaboratively developed by ESPN and Disney teams with Accenture. So what ESPN is doing is replacing people with robots when it comes to writing game stories. Now, whether or not you think these are game stories people are going to read, it's still experience that young writers would gladly take on to work at ESPN and say they worked at ESPN and have that on their resume, have that in their portfolio that they did game stories for ESPN. To replace them with robots is pretty fucking shitty. I've been, I think, on this show bitching about AI forever, but I bitch about AI all the time because I'm like, no one watches movies. Like, you guys don't see how this all ends. And it has begun.
I think Karalis made the point on Twitter, like in these 2 examples specifically, you said it was lacrosse and what? National Women's Soccer League?
Women's Soccer League.
Like, these are 2 sports that are trying to grow and that they are trying to, and like, you're just not going to promote the jobs that come with that growth, the jobs that like people covering the sports would like to also be growing with. Like, you're just going to cut that off. That seems real shitty. Like, it's one thing if you do it for, like, ironically enough, if you do it for like the NBA or NFL, like there are a million jobs. You can't completely replace that because of how in-depth people follow it and how in-depth the coverage is. by replacing those writers of these smaller sports with AI, you are cutting them off at the stem of like people trying to grow and get in on the sports that like there's probably a bunch of people who love lacrosse and are very passionate about it. It's just such a small group that we don't hear about it a lot. And so cutting off the chance for people to write those stories and get in-depth coverage from people actually there sucks. Like that's just like the worst possible place you could do it.
And kind of consequentially, you're also cutting those sports and stunning their growth a little bit because
Exactly. Yes.
you may not be interested in something, but if someone is making cool content for something that you stumble upon what they are doing, you may get roped into being interested in that.
Exactly.
With those, it
100%.
may not be as easy to do, but like there are plenty of examples of like, oh, I heard this person talk about it and I checked it out because I thought it was cool. Like, obviously, writing a game story is different than doing a podcast or something, but who knows? That's so lame from ESPN, man. I am. It's deplorable.
Just
Walt
wait till
Disney and the mouse, nonetheless.
Just wait till Sam replaces me with AI, then you guys will be really sorry. Imagine. Ratlist this dresser that was far too difficult to build in my house. So in my apartment, I should say. My stepdad bought me a dresser for Christmas to bring here. It was great. Shout out my stepdad. Love you, but like it's great. Very nice. Comes here, tries to build it. IKEA didn't number the pieces or parts, so he's just like having to guess what the pieces are based on the pictures, which is just impossible. And so him and my dad, ironically enough, which was very funny to watch, like my stepdad and my dad building something together was like a culture shock effectively for me. Watching them build it, they built it for hours and hours, and my room is small. And so it didn't fit and it had to go anyways. And so then we take what is already a giant dresser and had to finagle it and fit it around the door to my apartment. Because the way my apartment works is I'm on the second and third floors of like a 3-story building. And so you have to get upstairs to get into my apartment. And so the corner of the stairs goes like this. So it's like you walk up the stairs and then you take a 90-degree turn to the left to get into my apartment. And so we had to enter the dresser straight up, bring it down the stairs, put it straight up again so it could turn in the correct radius, and then slide it down the stairs at an angle, and then put it all the way horizontally to fit it out the door at the bottom. And so it was just like the most difficult possible thing to fit outside, and it just didn't fit in my apartment because, I mean, I showed Sam my room off screen. It's very small, which I don't care. Like I'm sleeping in here and working in here. I'm not doing anything else. Like I'll spend time outside the room more than in the room. But it's like, it's just, it sucks that it wasn't able to fit. Because I have like a sliding glass door to like a little porch deck thing out there, and then my closet door is right here, and then my real door is behind me, and so there's just not much space. Like there was no corners. I had one corner to put stuff in, and it just had to be my bed, and even my bed has like a 1.5 foot point where it overlaps with the sliding glass door, so there's like a gap behind it. There's no wall, so it's like it's just a little awkward. But it's I'm not complaining at all. Very nice, very happy to be here, very excited, but full. Just a full mattress. Yeah. It's just the one I have from home. Anything else would have been disastrous. And a twin, I'm too big for a twin.
Can't do a twin.
I will say though, so let me show you. So currently, if I go like this, my feet are on my bed. So like my desk is directly in front of my bed. So
you like that or no?
I like it here because I can just kind of chill like this, and it's comfortable. But you might be saying like, oh, don't your feet hit your desk at night? I got a raising desk, so I literally just put it up here, and then my feet slide under, no problem.
There you go.
It's kind of sick though.
You dwarfed yourself.
Well, I can stand. See? Here's the standing pod. Kind of fun. No, I'm just
you would never do
that. No, probably not. Definitely not.
You know what I can't believe is those guys that do football games, the play-by-play, they stand the whole time. You know that?
It's probably a lot better for you than sitting, but yeah, I don't know. I can't get bored. The only problem with this is my extension cord that everything is plugged into is now
dangling.
Just like dangling a little off the ground. So hopefully nothing comes unplugged. No podcast for me. But you know what? I'll do the rat list while standing, just to prove a point to Sam. Why not?
I just said you wouldn't like it. I didn't say I wasn't mean about it.
No, I know. I'm just fucking with you. Can you hear me? Does my audio sound the same? Because my mic is technically a little further from my face now.
You sound all right. There was a point where I thought you sounded a little faint, but
there it goes. I knew something would happen. My camera fell off. Hold up, I'll fix it.
Trying to get cute during the pod. What are we doing? All
right, here we go. Wait a second.
All right.
Back shortly.
So as Jack Oh, you're back. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't take that long. I tried to pick
As
it back up.
Jack recovers, my next member of the rat list is Vince McMahon. Vince
no.
McMahon is, well, obviously going through some legal things, but also Netflix putting out a Vince McMahon doc, and doc looks fire. Trailer came out yesterday. Gem from the trailer was this meme right here. A new meme has surfaced. This shot that I tweeted was in the trailer for maybe a split second, but this is going to be a meme that I use consistently. It's if you're listening, it's Vince McMahon in absolute shambles crisis being escorted out of a wrestling event by
police officers.
First time in the entire show, it was me.
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
It was very brief though. You came right back. Like it was less than a second.
We're back.
So you're good.
This is going to be an excellent meme, nonetheless.
Was this from like early 2000s, like as a bit? I assume.
Yeah, it was definitely not real. Like definitely,
it has to be
part of the script. Yes,
has to be.
But the shot in this trailer made me laugh, and you know how like sometimes the thumbnail just stays still or the video gets caught on a single. This was what it was, and I saw it, and I was like, "That's incredible! I need to save this."
Yeah.
But I cannot wait for this doc to come out in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Is it just about Vince McMahon in general in WWE?
It's about like how he built up himself, the company, and then like a little behind the scenes stuff, and then like how this whole scandal has happened. Apparently, this doc was thought to be like a puff piece or like a look how great Vince McMahon is thing when they approved the coverage, and then now I guess the WWE is mad at Netflix and Bill Simmons, who's working on this,
because it's turned into the opposite.
Not.
Yeah, it's the opposite. It feels like now.
I don't even know if I would say it's the opposite. It's just an objective overview. So I'm sure there's gonna be parts of this, like in the trailer, it's all these massive, like big name wrestlers. They're like, Vince is great, he's a mastermind, whatever. But I'm sure there's gonna be like, well, like this happened and this shouldn't have happened, and he did this, and you know, it's gonna be a fucking must watch appointment view
for sure, 100%. You know what, Ratlist, the Aaron Hernandez show that I keep getting ads for.
Did you watch it?
Weird. No, it just looks weird.
It's probably good.
It's probably good, but like, why is that the story? Like, I feel like that's such like
because people love that.
It's so
people love drama. They love.
But
true
if I was
crime.
his family, why would you approve that? Because like you obviously have to get the rights from like the family and the Hernandez people. Like you can't just make that. I assume, right? Like I don't think you can just do that.
Donald Sterling was like, "Go ahead, make a show about me."
Fair, yeah. You know, good point. I don't know. It just seems weird to make a whole thing.
Think, well, Vince McMahon.
If I'm
this because they gave them access.
Okay, fine. This perspective. If I'm the families of the people he murdered, I'm not too pleased that this is like a big thing because I feel like this is just gonna like popularize Aaron Hernandez than the opposite because that's how people work.
So. Donald Sterling, massive hit right now. They love Donald.
I don't know. People are weird, man. I don't trust people. It's just odd to me. It's just like all the ads for it seem weird. I don't like it.
I think if you're watching that, you know what happened.
I guess
the target audience for that is not like
still weird. I think. I don't know why.
Yoga moms.
Fair enough.
You know.
Fair enough.
Rat list is me being washed. So yesterday, me and my friends went to Buffalo Wild Wings as we do for
I'm sitting down.
NFL kickoff. And Thursdays at Buffalo Wild Wings are buy one, get one wing days, boneless wings. So I got 30 wings, finished all of them, but it was not easy to get there. I'm washed. I used to put back 30 wings from Buffalo Wild Wings every week.
Yeah.
I probably got 20 down. And then I was like, I was having my man versus food moment. I was like, my gosh, like, how am I going to do this? How I got there. I made it across the line. I will say, shout out to them, man. Feels like they skip on the wings sometimes. They gave like good sized wings yesterday. It was a big talk at the table.
Huh. That's a good thing. Shout out.
Also felt like a Warwick reunion. I saw a bunch of people there that I hadn't seen in a while. Nice.
I hate that. Oh, that's nice. I hate.
Well,
seeing
it was
from
like
high
people
school.
like I'm like friends with, but like I just
Okay,
don't
sure.
have like time or like.
That's fine.
You know, I can't keep up with everybody. We're busy.
See, when
with work, you know,
when I see people from high school, it's people who I'd never talked to in high school, and it's just like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, what's up, bro? I've talked more to you in this last 5 minutes than I ever did. Like, how are you doing? How's it going?
That I don't like those.
I don't like hate it. Like, I don't have anything against the people. I'm just awkward. It's just like, oh,
I just got nothing for them.
Yeah, I know. I think I did this on a video, but I'll do it on the pod too. Just another shout out. Auntie Ratless, my mom.
Oh no, I think you just showed me this. I don't think you did it on a video. I think you.
My mom made this really cool thing where she put all of my credentials from the Celtics playoff run into a shadow box, so you can see my Cavs credential here, Pacers credential here, Heat credential, Finals credential with the confetti from after they won. It's just sick. So shout out my mom.
Excellent.
Auntie Ratless. This is phenomenal. I was very happy. Made me happy. So love you, Mom. Thank you. I don't know if I have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Rat list is Travis and Taylor. So I don't know if you saw this, Jack. No, listen. You
I know where you're going. I see what you're talking about now. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So I don't know if it was Thursday before the football game or Wednesday, but a leak surfaced of a public relations media plan for a September 28th scheduled breakup between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Now, since it had plans of talking points, the angles that they wanted to push to the media about Travis Kelce saying he feels like he's grown, the breakup was mutual and amicable or whatever. There's been some dispute of whether or not this is real or not. And Kelsey's camp, I believe, came out and said it's not real. I know there are people that would do this, but who's really got the time to make a fake?
I don't think this is real. I think it's crap. I think people made this up. I don't believe this is a fake relationship. I refuse. I don't like conspiracies like that. I could be wrong.
You don't think this is a fake relationship in the slightest?
No.
Not you.
What do you mean?
You would never think this is a fake relationship.
No.
How could it be fake?
I don't think that. What benefit does Taylor Swift have from being a fake relationship?
She reaches a new demographic of people in the NFL. She has her face everywhere for the most watched team in the NFL, and she has the most people watching these Chiefs games, and she's front and center in the box watching.
I guess, but she didn't need that. Like, she didn't need that for her career. She was fine. Like, I don't believe
it, but it's like rich people that have stocks, like, and they sell stocks for different stocks because the return is better.
I think the most realistic thing, which I don't even know if it's true because I don't know, is the relationship was real, but they were going to break up. And so they said, okay, we're both stars enough where let's not just randomly do it. Let's, plan it amicably and do this, blah, blah, blah. Like that is the most reasonable. And I just don't even think that's true. I think it's crap because I think the more realistic thing of anything is that there are enough people who want to see the downfall of either of these humans to make it up and put it out there and try to cause a ruse. I think that is more realistic than the opposite.
See, I'm like indifferent on this. Like, if it was,
I don't care either.
I'm not entirely convinced that this is a real relationship or not. Like, I don't really know. I know this kind of thing has been faked before. Wasn't Taylor Swift dating some guy that like had like a racist thing come out or something before Travis Kelce?
Yeah. I don't know if it was exactly racist, but he had like some sus ideologies or something. Whatever.
Okay. So if that's true, then that would also be a benefit to all of this. Is dating a massive football player that's on the best team and is a star in the NFL. And, I mean, you had to think a minute to be like, oh yeah, that did happen.
I'm just I think conspiracy theories are all overblown. So I'm not going to be, I don't think it's real. As in, I don't think the documents and stuff is real. I think the relationship is real.
Okay.
I don't know. I think a lot of that stuff is crap. So, but I mean,
when it first came
could be
out,
wrong.
I thought it was like concrete fake, and I was like, this is way better, but it's been refuted. So I don't know. But even if they were planning a September 28th date and it came out, they would say
Not
it's
going to happen anymore, and it's not going to be September 28th anymore.
It will not. It would be funny if it was.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if yeah, they just go through with it. I don't think I have anything else. I'm trying to think if there's anything else with the move. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content. I don't think anything's wrong. So I'm chill. Oh, Ratless, the new shower I have, just
Too
very
short?
small. Just very small. Not too short. Just very like if I can't go like this in the shower. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
no!
Like, yeah, it's I'm banging.
Are you
shit
gonna do your
around.
jumping jacks?
I know. Well, it's just like if I turn around to grab the soap, I bang the glass.
Yes.
Like it's just and like, it's not even like I am large, which yeah, but like you would have the same issue. Like it's
Yes,
just
I would.
yeah, it's just small for in general. Anyways, I don't think I have anything else. I think I'm good. Trying to think. I think I'm good. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
Alright.
So I don't got anything else. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. The season's coming. We'll be here no matter what, but more and more content will be here too, so you don't want to miss any of it. Full pods going up Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps once the season's back will be the morning after each game, and other videos in between will keep you updated, keep you up to date with the Celtics. So you don't want to miss it. Subscribe, hit the bell. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple too. All of our streams, not streams, our pods and game recaps will be there for you. If you want the audio versions, just follow, they go right to your feed. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com is the address for that. You saw RJ send in a few today. You can get in on the fun. Tell us your thoughts on the team. Tell us your rat list. Tell us your thoughts on if the relationship's real or not, if you care about that. hbtcpod@gmail.com. How About Them C's? At How About Them C's is the socials for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the podcast. We have new shorts going up across all platforms every day. You can find all streams on Facebook. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance. NBA. That's it for us. Bye.